How do appeals work in civil procedure? Have you ever wondered what happens after a court makes a decision that one party disagrees with? The process of appealing a court's decision is an essential part of civil procedure. Let's break it down step by step. An appeal is a formal request made to a higher court, known as an appellate court, to review a decision made by a lower court. The person who files the appeal is called the appellant, while the other party is referred to as the appellee or respondent. The journey begins when the appellant files a notice of appeal with the court that issued the original judgment. This notice must be filed within a specific time frame, usually 30 days after the judgment is entered in most civil cases. However, there can be exceptions based on the type of case or specific parties involved. Once the notice of appeal is filed, the appellate process kicks off. The appellant must prepare and submit a written brief. This brief outlines the legal arguments explaining why the lower court's decision should be reversed or modified. The appellee then has the chance to respond with their own brief, and the appellant may file a reply brief afterward. These briefs are the primary means through which both parties present their arguments to the appellate court. Appellate courts primarily review the case based on these written briefs. In some instances, the court may allow oral arguments, where each attorney has a limited time to speak to the judges and respond to their questions. However, oral arguments are not always necessary, and many appeals are decided solely based on the written submissions. The scope of what the appellate court can review is generally limited to the record from the trial court. This means that the appellate court does not consider new evidence or facts that were not presented during the trial. Instead, it focuses on whether the trial court made legal errors, such as misapplying the law or abusing its discretion. Appellate courts do not re-examine factual findings unless there is clear error. There are specific rules governing the appeals process. In federal courts, the federal rules of appellate procedure apply. Each state has its own set of rules for state court appeals. These rules cover everything from the timing of filings to the format of briefs and the procedures for oral arguments. For law students, understanding how appeals work in civil procedure is vital. It involves knowing the steps from filing the notice of appeal to submitting briefs and possibly engaging in oral arguments. It also means being aware of the standards of review, such as de novo review for questions of law and abuse of discretion for decisions left to the trial court's judgment. Law school outlines and supplements often organize this information into clear steps and highlight key concepts. One important concept is the final judgment rule, which generally requires that only final decisions are appealable, with limited exceptions. Practical applications for law students include learning how to draft a notice of appeal and appellate briefs. It is also crucial to understand the importance of preserving issues for appeal during the trial and recognizing the strategic considerations in deciding whether to appeal. These skills are essential for both exams and future legal practice.